Okay, so in the previous class, we had studied about this topic, that is non-cooperation movement. We saw that Gandhiji started this movement when along with the help of the Khilafat movement, right? So both these movements were started around the same time. Now, non-cooperation movement involved what? That the Indians are not going to cooperate with the Britishers anymore, right? So basically, they're going to ban all government schools and colleges. They're going to ban all the government offices. They're going to, return all the uh, awards which they had received from the British government, right? So these were the things which were involved in non-cooperation movement. But then, what impact did it had? What was the positive impact of non-cooperation movement on social and economic issues? Was most of the Indians who believed in untouchability, they started abolishing untouchability. Hindus and Muslims came together because on one hand we had the Khilafat movement and on the other hand we had the non-cooperation movement. Both came together. Now, before I begin, I just wanted to know if you all remember what is involved in Khilafat movement. Can you tell me in brief what is Khilafat movement? Let's see if you all remember.
Mom,
Yes,
had it.
Aditya.
Mom, I'm Vivan.
No, Aditya has raised his hand.
Okay,
Yes,
mom.
Aditya. Okay, Vivan, turn on your video. Yes, tell me, Vivan. What is Khilafat movement? What is involved in Khilafat movement? Who remembers?
Mom, may I?
Yes, yes.
Mom, was defeated in the First World War. Ma'am, the Turkish Empire was divided into two halves. One was of Britain and one was of the French.
Hmm.
Ma'am, then the Britain and the French armies tortured the Sultan. Sultan means the Khalifa of the empire. So it hurted the religious sentiments, and he was the biggest follower of the Muslim.
Hmm.
He tortured and harassed. So it was a great blow to the dignity of the empire and to the religion also.
So what had happened?
The ma'am, in the world there was a great flow, and in India also the Muslims, the brothers of Maulana Shaukat Ali and Maulana. Ma'am,
Okay.
ma'am, yes,
Maulana Muhammad Ali it is. Okay. Wait. Let me give chance to Shreyas. Let's see what he wants to say. Yes, Shreyas.
So, ma'am, can I start from beginning the
Yeah,
introduction?
no problem. Yes.
So, ma'am, in Caliphate movement, what happened? First of all, the Turkey was being defeated in the First World War, due to which it was being divided between the Britain and the France Empire.
Hmm.
And ma'am, the Turkish Sultan, who was also the religious head of the Muslim, was treated very harshly, which was
Hmm.
like a blow to the dignity of the Muslims.
Yes.
So,
Because they
Caliph
all considered him as their head, right?
had, yes,
Religious
ma'am.
head. So what did they do to support this
So, ma'am,
particular
as
sultan?
to support the Turkish Sultan, the religious head, so they started a Caliphate movement, which was being started by
Khilafat movement.
Khilafat movement. Sorry, ma'am.
Hmm.
Khilafat movement. By it was started by the early brothers, who were
Yes.
Maulana Muhammad Ali and
And
Maulana Shaukat Ali.
yes.
Ma'am, in this movement, Gandhiji and the Congress also supported them, and the main aim of the
Yes.
movement was to hold the power and prestige of the
Hmm.
caliph and the preservation
Hmm.
of the integrity of the Turkey.
Turkey, yes. So this is basically the Khilafat movement. If at all you get a short or and a question to write a short note on Khilafat movement, you will write all this entire incident, right? After Khilafat movement, we started with non-cooperation movement. Then we saw how non-cooperation movement, where we boycotted foreign goods, we boycotted government elections, government functions, and we also give away the honors which were given to the Indians by the Britishers. Now, in today's session, we will see. We will learn more about the this movement, that is the non-cooperation movement. Okay, so now we come across one incident which is called as the Chura incident. Let us understand what basically is the Chura incident. This, you will definitely get a question based upon Chura. Okay, either in a form of an objective or in a form of a give reason. All right, so please make a note of it. The atmosphere was charged with enthusiasm, determination, and confidence. However, an unfortunate incident changed all that. Early in 1922, a procession of peasants were fired upon by the police at Chori Chora. This is important. It starts for your answer will start from here. Okay, in the year 1922, what had happened? The police, okay, they had fired at a peaceful procession which was carried by whom? By the peasants. Okay, where did this incident happen? Where did the police fired? They fired at Chori Chora.
Chori Chora.
Okay, where is this Chori Chora? It is a village in Uttar Pradesh. All right. Now, what happened after this? So, if people are peacefully having a procession going on, and if the police are coming there, and if they are firing it, then definitely, don't you think that the this particular crowd is going to react to this particular behavior of the police? Yes,
Yes,
yes
ma'am.
or no? Yes, so now the people reacted violently to this, and what did they do? They burnt the Chori Chora police station. Okay, so it was an action-reaction incident. Okay, Britishers took an action, and then they saw the reaction of these people where uh, they burned the police station. Now, in this particular burning of police station, 22 policemen were killed. Okay, now this incident, you if at all you get a question on this, you will have to explain this everything. Okay, there was a peaceful procession going on. Police had opened fire on the procession, and in return, the crowd, that is the people who were involved in this procession, they burned the police station, in which 22 policemen were killed. All right, now let's see what happens after this. When 22 policemen were killed. So after this, what was the reaction of Gandhiji? It was that he immediately called off this movement. Which movement? Which movement are we talking about? Let me see who will give the answer.
And the
Ma'am,
non-cooperation movement.
Very
non-cooperation
good. The
movement.
non-cooperation movement. So you might get a reason, a question, okay, that give reasons why the non-cooperation movement was called off by Gandhiji. So what will be the reason? What reason you will give, children?
Ma'am, the
Who will tell me the
non-cooperation. Ma'am,
reason?
can I?
Yes.
Ma'am, the non-cooperation movement was called off immediately by Gandhiji after the incident of Chori Chora, in which
And then
the
you will describe the entire incident of Chori Chora.
yes, ma'am.
Okay, clear? Now, any act of violence was a negation of the basic principle of non-violence, which every satyagrahi was supposed to uphold. Gandhiji was uncompromising in his refusal to forgive even a single act of violence. So, basically, non-cooperation movement, which was started by Gandhiji, the basic principle for this was non-violence. Just underline non-violence. The basic principle of this particular movement was non-violence. Now, when Gandhiji saw that people violated, right, what did they do? They burned the police station, and because of that, 22 policemen were killed. So he saw that this is the act of violence. So instantly, he gave. What did he do? He called off this particular movement, which was the non-cooperation
Non-cooperation.
movement. Clear, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
This will also be the second reason. Okay, one reason will be the Chori Chora incident, and second reason, if at all you get a question for give reason, this will be the second reason, that why did Gandhiji called off the non-cooperation movement? Because the basic principle of non-cooperation movement was non-violence. Okay, and this act was completely uh, different from that. Okay, that's the reason Gandhiji had called off. This will be the second point. Now let's see further what happens. The non-cooperation movement had ended in failure. So definitely it was a failure. Yes, because it was instantly called off, right? But the national spirit had been strengthened. Gandhiji withdrew from active politics and devoted himself to the task of social reforms. Okay, so after this movement, definitely there was no it was this movement was not at all successful because it was called off in between. So after this movement, Gandhiji started devoted himself to the tasks of social reforms. Now let's see this session, the Lahore session. This is very important, children. The Lahore session of the Congress, that is 1929. Clear, everyone, till here? Basically, have you understood the Chori Chora,
Yes,
and have you
ma'am.
understood the
Understood.
reason why Gandhiji? Okay, everyone.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Now we'll see the Lahore session of the Congress. In December 1929, the Indian National Congress met in Lahore. Please underline this. Met in Lahore. Okay. Indian National Congress met in Lahore under the youthful and dynamic leadership of who? Under the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru. Underline that. So, people of Indian National Congress met at Lahore under the leadership of Jawaharlal Nehru. Now, let's see for what. What was the meeting held for? The Congress had passed a resolution declaring Purna Swaraj or complete independence as its goal on 26th January 1930. So next week we will be celebrating 26th Jan, right? So you should know why do we celebrate this, right?
Okay.
Basically, they met with a resolution. What was the resolution? That now they will, they wanted to have Purna Swaraj, that is complete independence, okay, as their main goal or main aim, right? And when did it happen? On 26 January 1930 was declared as Independence Day, according to them. Now let's see further what happens. The Congress also resolved to launch a civil disobedience movement under the leadership of Gandhiji. So now non-cooperation movement was called off. Now there's another movement which the Congress wanted to launch, which was called as the civil disobedience movement. Please understand there is a difference between non-cooperation and civil disobedience movement. Do not confuse yourself, because I had seen many grade 10 students also get confused between these two movements. So please understand what is the difference. On 26 Jan 1930, Independence Day was celebrated all over the country. Okay, because they now wanted India to have complete independence. The newly adopted Indian tricolor was unfurled, and people solemnly took the pledge of freedom. Okay, on 26 January was celebrated as Independence Day every year till India finally became free in the year 1947. From 1950 onwards, 26 January Day has been celebrated as a Republic Day. So please underline all these points. These are all the importance. Why do we celebrate 26 January as Republic Day? Who will tell me? Who will give reason for this? Go on, give reasons why 26 January is celebrated as Republic Day in India. Yes, Aditya? You are muted. Unmute yourself, Aditya. Yeah, tell. I think he is having some audio issues. Yes, Priyanshu, can you give me the answer?
Yes, ma'am. Independence Day was celebrated on 26 January every year because the Congress had a session in December in 1929,
Yes.
in which they swore and passed a resolution as Purna Swaraj or complete independence. So to fulfill this pledge, they celebrated 26 January every year as Independence Day.
Yes. Okay. So you might get a give reason based upon this also. So please mark over here as well. Have you all understood till your children?
Yes, ma'am.
Everyone? Okay. Now
Yes,
we
ma'am,
will
understood.
understand what exactly is civil disobedience movement. Okay, this is also very important. Now, and we'll also understand what is the difference between non-cooperation and civil disobedience. So civil disobedience movement was a form of non-cooperation movement. It is not similar to, it is not non-cooperation movement. There's a difference involving the breaking of government laws. Okay, disobedience, the word itself is telling you that we are not going to obey to all the laws which was laid down by the British government. Clear? And non-cooperation means we are not going to cooperate with the Britishers. Clear? Clear, children? Okay.
Yes,
Its
ma'am.
objective was to defy the British government and pressurize it to give in to the demands of the nationalists. So basic objective of launching this movement was what? To pressurize the British government so that they fulfill their demands, right? Now, the civil disobedience movement was launched by Gandhiji in the year 1913 March. This is the date is very important. With what? With the salt satyagraha. So breaking the law. Civil disobedience means not going to obey the laws which was laid down by the British government. So what was the first law which they broke under this movement was the salt law. You know what was the salt law?
Yes, ma'am.
Who will tell me?
Ma'am, now are you able to hear me?
Yeah. Now you're audible, Aditya.
Ma'am, the salt tax law was that every Indian who bought salt had to pay tax on it.
Yes. And salt was the basic commodity, right? Whether it is a poor a home or rich people, everybody needs salt, right, to cook food. And so the people who were poor, they were not able to afford this. And salt is basically, from where do we get salt? It is a
Ma'am,
Ma'am,
natural
from the
commodity.
ocean.
It is a natural commodity, right? So Britishers are not investing anything in that. So why they are applying tax on this? This was the basic concern of the of Gandhiji. All right, so that he said that it is unjust because salt is a natural commodity and Britishers, and it is also the basic commodity which the poor people are not able to afford, right? So therefore he thought, Gandhiji decided to start with the breaking of the unjust salt law because it affected everybody in the country. Every Indian had to pay salt tax. Indians could not manufacture salt because it was a government monopoly. So government considered that it is their monopoly. All right. So the Indians were not allowed to manufacture their own salts, right? So that is the reason, Gandhiji believed that this tax which the government has implemented on the basic commodity, that is salt, is very unjust. So he started this movement by breaking this rule, this law of salt tax. What did Gandhiji do for breaking the salt tax act? Who will tell me?
Ma'am,
Anybody?
Ma'am, can I tell?
ma'am, may I?
Yes,
Ma'am,
Rohan.
from Sabarmati Ashram, ma'am, with 78 followers, ma'am, he went to a coastal plain named Dandi, ma'am, a village,
Hmm.
and he walked 385 kilometers with them, and
Hmm.
said that it is a unjust and exploitative efficiency.
Okay, so to break the salt law, what did Gandhiji do? The salt satyagraha began with a historic Dandi march. Okay, Dandi march. What was this march all about? Gandhiji set out from the Sabarmati ashram along with 78 followers. All right, on a 385-kilometer journey to the coastal village, which is called as Dandi. Okay, so they walked from Sabarmati to Dandi. All right, along with how many 1,000 people also joined Gandhiji on the way. Okay, he started with 78 people, but then slowly and gradually people started joining this procession. Okay, now upon the arrival at Dandi, what did he do? He picked up the salt, a handful of salt from the beach. This act symbolized defiance of the salt law. It was a signal for every Indian to violate the salt law. Throughout India, people began to manufacture their own salt and sell it openly. Okay, so Britishers basically considered salt as their own monopoly, right? Government's monopoly. He did not allow the Indians to go there. So now what Gandhiji did, he went to Dandi, he picked up the handful of salt which symbolized that he is going against, he is breaking this salt tax law. Now this, after this, what happened? What was the reaction? What was the impact of this action? That most of the people, okay, throughout India, they started manufacturing their own salt and they started selling their own salt openly in the market. Okay, so now this is how the salt tax was abolished. Clear? So it was a successful or a failure? Dandi
Ma'am, it
March
was a
salt tax.
Ma'am,
failure.
it was a successful movement.
Ma'am,
It was a
it was a
successful
failure
movement.
also.
This that is breaking the laws which was set up by the British government. And since it was successful, so what happened? This message of this particular act being successful spread rapidly throughout India. Okay, this movement spread rapidly throughout India. The civil disobedience extended to violation of other laws and refusal to pay taxes. So it gave way, to the Indians to refuse other laws also and to refuse to pay taxes, unnecessary taxes. Clear? It included boycott of foreign goods, hartals, demonstrations, picketing of shops, selling foreign goods. Okay, so these were all the acts. After a person is successful in one particular a movement, definitely it will pay a way to other different struggles. So this is how people also started abolishing other taxes and other laws. Now, an important feature of this movement was the active participation of large number of women. Okay, so in this particular incident, in this particular movement, that is a civil disobedience movement, maximum women and children were also there. Sarojini Naidu was one of the leaders of this movement. You will get an objective question on this. Okay, Sarojini Naidu was Dash was one of the leaders of the civil disobedience movement. Who was the leader? Women.
Sarojini Naidu.
Yes, Sarojini Naidu. Clear till here, everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, the government suppressed the movement with the force of brutality. Now, definitely, if the government, if the British government is watching that, people have started revolting against them, people have started breaking laws and started abolishing the taxes which was implemented by the British government. Don't you think that the British government is going to react to it? Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Definitely, the British government will definitely have a reaction to this. They will all try all their ways to suppress this movement with which whatever force they can. So Gandhi, Nehru, and other important leaders were arrested. This is important. So what was the strategy of the Britishers to stop this movement, civil disobedience movement? What did the Britishers do?
Ma'am, they arrested all the important leaders of this revolt,
Namely,
namely Gandhi, Nehru, and many more.
yes. And not just this, along with arresting, what did they do? Hundreds of people were injured and killed in Lati charge and police firing. Over 90,000 people were imprisoned. So this was the action taken by the British government to suppress this movement. Clear?
Yes, ma'am.
This movement means which movement am I talking about?
Ma'am, the civil disobedience movement.
Very good, the civil disobedience movement. Okay, now the political activity in India became very intense after 1937. Leaders of the national movement had made it clear to the British that their days in India were numbered. The British passed a number of acts and sent missions to appease the Indians, but in vain. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the salt satyagraha or the Dandi March, ma'am, it's similar to the Boston Tea Party, right?
Yeah, somewhat similar. Yeah, Boston Tea Party, which we had done in American, the first chapter which we did, right? Can you just scroll down, please?
Ma'am, it's finished.
Okay.
Yes.
So have everybody understood the entire chapter? Before I go on to the question answers, first tell me that. Did everybody
Yes,
understand the
ma'am.
chapter?
Yes, ma'am.